live streaming. Welcome to our live stream that's not live and not being streamed. You missed the first part because we didn't have any microphones or sound. But we were talking about Jaron's crazy hair and then my crazy hair, and that he should wear his hair a little bit more down and I should wear mine a little bit more up, but also probably not.
Probably not. I like the trends that we got going. I think it fits us better, but I definitely need to work on my hair. Your hair is really good right now.
Yeah.
So.
Speaking of, actually, I have to go get the hat. Do you remember at the conference in Vegas, the VIP hat that I was not allowed to have?
Yes.
It got delivered in the mail.
No way.
So you know what? We're going to wear a hat actually because I'm not supposed to have this hat because I'm not a real VIP. I guess you had to pay thousands and thousands of dollars to get this hat. And I just had to sweet talk a middle-aged woman.
I'll say you basically got it for free.
Yeah.
No, that's cool. So we haven't done an episode for a while, Cole. We've been traveling, and we said we were going to do it in some hotel rooms. We didn't have the setup. Now we got a better setup. And I'm excited to get back in the mix of recording Go Broke, Get Rich podcasts.
Yeah, I am too. Yeah, it has been a while, and a lot of traveling, not a lot of diverse traveling, pretty much going to the same place over and over and over again.
Let's see.
In rapid succession.
I've been to Vegas 3 times in 20 days.
3 times in 20 days. Yeah. Well, I've been twice in 20 days.
Yeah. So, and I tell you what, we had a lot of fun there. We lost a little money. We made a little money, and we did some business, and it was good. But it's funny because actually what I want to talk today about was when I left Vegas, I had some interesting ideas forming through my head. So in one of my businesses that I own, I'm having a little conflict with some of my employees and my business partner in seeing eye to eye on kind of the direction of the business, where it's going to go in the future. And so as I was leaving Vegas, I was just kind of thinking about this. I'm like, what am I going to do? I'm like praying to God, like, hey, like, Lord, like, what do I need to talk about? What do I need to tell these guys to like have them see my way, which sounds terrible. But then I realized, I was like, everybody has a different point of view, right? And it's not necessarily showing them what is your way, but kind of like guiding them and working in everyone's ability of their strength. So as we're taking off from Vegas, I got a window seat and I'm looking out the window and I'm like, oh man, this is a nice day, the mountains, and we're getting higher and higher and higher. And you know what I find out, Cole?
What?
I start to see the whole city in one view.
Ew.
And as I'm going up, I'm starting to realize that, some people have different point of views. And I'm looking at this whole city right now, and I'm getting a different perspective than I did 5 minutes ago. And I'm starting to see, where the strip is, where they have the housing, where they have a golf course, where they got parks. And I'm like, this kind of relates to my business venture going on, where I'm conflicting because I feel like a lot of people, they can see the tree, but they don't see the forest. And I'm a forest guy.
You're a forest guy.
I'm a forest guy. And you need both, because I can run over a tree and didn't even know I ran over it.
Yeah, he sees the forest. It doesn't stop him. He just doesn't see the trees.
Yeah. So as I'm going up, I'm like seeing how they build the city out, how they're planning. And if you have that bird's eye view of your business plan or your life or the vision you want to go, and you start talking to people that they're stuck in traffic, they do the 9 to 5, they're running into stuff, and you're going to get a complete different perspective. So I want to make some changes in the business, and I'm getting a lot of conflict and a lot of pushback, because I feel like I clearly see how we need to expand the business, like where we need to build, right? Like we need to put a park here. We need to put an apartment here. Like in the business side, I need to hire a person here. We need to move them here. And I think when you got people that don't see that upside view, it's challenging for that.
Do you think you need to, when you're in that position, do you feel like you need to explain the perspective that you see? Kira, do you think that's like, you just do it? Like, it, like that's your role, they don't see it, because maybe they're doing something else, they're just seeing the tree, you're seeing the forest. Like, do you have to explain to them the forest? Who cares? Is it more important that there's this like trust? Can they just like you take control?
I think it's a little bit of both. So like, you need to cast the vision continually, right?
Yeah.
They need to get on board where we're going, but also they need they're there to trust you. So like a good example is one of my employees, they have like full control and they kind of run the business actually.
Yeah.
Like on the day to day, I stay pretty much out of it, and I've given them the power to do that, and I trust them to do that. Okay.
Yeah.
What I in return is I'm having this conversation of like, hey, I need you to trust me back. That this is the part of the business that I'm not perfect at it, but I'm better at it than the job that I gave you.
Mm.
But it's scary because it looks like it's out of control, and my personality, it just looks like I don't know what I'm doing half the time, because secretly I really don't. But so it's kind of both, and I think it's important to keep casting the vision and not say it once, like, hey, this is where we're going, this is what we're going to do, and so they can keep seeing those steps along the way. But trust is a big factor in it.
Yeah. Interesting. That brings me back to the first software company that I worked at, Jamf. Get a CEO of that company, great dude, Dean Hager. When he would address the company, every time, whether it was in person, whether it was remote on a Zoom call, the first thing he always did was he pulled up the vision slide of the company.
Yeah.
That had the company values, their like statement, like the mission statement, and like the vision, what we do and how we do it. That was the first thing he started every conversation with, every presentation with, every meeting with. Didn't matter if it was 5 of us or if it was the 2,000 people that worked there. So I think that, it's definitely very important.
Yeah, it is, because if you forget why you're doing what you're doing, people lose heart and they get disinterested.
Yeah.
And retaining people is so important.
Yeah.
And so it's very important to keep casting that vision. And you're right. Like, there's probably a lot of people that don't do that, and people get frustrated and they leave. And so, yeah, but that's what I've been learning and trying to work through and talk through, is when you're teaming up with people that have a different point of view, how to work with them, and then that trust factor. Because to grow to the next step in this company, there has to be expansion and there has to be risk taking. And the people that usually see the tree, they're usually not the risk takers, and they don't want to expand. They want to just be very, conservative in what they're going to do.
Yeah.
and be very calculated of like small calculation. Cause I'm a very calculated, risky person. I really do the math. I really think about it, but I take a lot of risks, but I'm very calculated at it. So, but I really think sometimes you just got to get in an airplane and go see what the city looks like, man, to get your point of view.
Yeah, that's a good lesson.
Yeah.